Hi, today is Tuesday, May 27th, 9:06 p.m. Eastern Time, and I am on via Zoom. We don't know if it's recording, so I'm doing a backup recording with Lisa. Lisa would like to give a brief statement because she's not able to be on Scott's podcast tomorrow night, but we will air this in its entirety, and we have her permission. Lisa, thank you for joining me.
No problem. Hi, my name is Lisa, and I had joined Twitter probably 2019, early 2020, and I saw a tweet of Scott Baio's run through my profile, and I'm a survivor of a violent crime. It was a rape back down in New Orleans, and I had seen his post with NICOLE EGGERT accusing him of molestation back then, and I took a look at it, and I dug a little deeper, and I looked at all the videos that he had, and I also did a little investigation of the videos that she had. And this was about the time that I had just experienced. I'm from Alabama, and I had just experienced what Roy Moore had been through. So I was kind of a hot button issue with me about women using rape as a tool for profit, attention, power, or money, and for when it really didn't happen to him. So I made a tweet and I tagged Nicole in it. And basically the tweet, I think you guys might have a copy of it, but basically I was basically saying, you're the reason why that people can't believe all women. And it was just maybe a little bit more to it than that. But that's the point that I was trying to make. And this set off a firestorm of about a year and a half of severe bullying from Nicole Eggert herself and from her family members, her friends, and a ton of these dummy accounts that they have that came through. And I've sent you, Renee, a bunch of those. I was accused of, I've been happily married for 17 years, accused of a prostitution arrest, accused of cocaine arrest, accused of all kinds of things. And there were, because of the attack that I endured was such a big story down in New Orleans, I did a lot of media, a lot of interviews. There were interviews and excerpts of articles that were taken out of context that were posted. I lost employment over that. And, one of the red flags that I saw on Nicole's side is that anytime that I hear these women come forward and they say, my truth, my story, my this, there is a huge difference between someone saying my truth and actual the truth. And my rape happened in 1999. It took 11 years for me to get justice. And the reason why this man was convicted and got life without parole was because my story never changed from me getting the story out between a severely fractured jaw, because I suffered that injury during the rape. What I told the police officers the very first day when this happened was the same exact story that I told on the bench 11 years later. My story never changed down to the last detail. And that is a complete difference of what has happened in Nicole's story. So when we experience these things, we don't forget, and it's just really, really sad. And for myself and all other survivors who have been through this, I can speak for myself, and I'm sure that other women who have actually been through this probably feel the same way. We need this to stop. And there's a lot of women that do this to get attention. And I just, and I speak out for all of us that, we want to be heard and we want to be able to be believed. But when you have so many women out there using this particular experience for their own profit, it's very painful for us. It's very re-traumatizing for us, and we just want it to stop.
Thank you. Could you show a picture of your before and after of what you looked like? And I'm so sorry to rehash this with you.
No, it's okay.
I'm also a child sexual abuse victim. I had two predators for many, many years, and I for damn sure wouldn't have asked them to take my virginity years later, or go into their home, or be friends with their wife. It just doesn't. That's not a pattern that that happens.
The lady that found my file after 11 years, because that's why it took so long. The DA kept saying they couldn't find my file. They couldn't find my file. She had asked me on several occasions if I wanted to. Can you see that?
Yeah, hold it still. So this is before, And that's what you look like after you were kidnapped, you were beaten severely, and raped repeatedly. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, he raped me with a plunger handle because he was a drug user, and I don't know if you can see
yes,
this.
Yes, we got it. We got it.
And so he used a plunger handle and he ripped me apart down there. And the doctor that testified, she grabbed one file when Katrina was coming to New Orleans in 2005. She grabbed one file from her office because she knew the hospital was going to be destroyed, and it was mine, just in case she was ever called for trial. And sure enough, she was, and she was able to. And she'd been an ER physician at Charity Hospital for 30 years, and mine was the only case that she ever wrote the diagnosis, raped with deadly force, was in my case. And I was so glad they found her, and she was able to testify. And, and I did it for all the women that because there were a lot of, back then they didn't do touch DNA. They only did like rape kits and stuff. Since he wasn't able to do like actually himself, that there was never any DNA left, but there were many women that were found that had the same type of injuries. Like he told me he was going to cut me up and spread me all over town. So this wasn't a trick gone bad like Nicole was trying to say. I went to go buy drugs, which was very stupid. I was a drug user at the time, and I thought I had not been on the scene very long, and I went there. I thought if you had money, nobody would hurt you. It was just a transaction. And when I got in the house, he closed the door behind me, and that was it. But, they took my story, and the story that I took, and I rebuilt my life, and I became a champion for victims. I had a room in the DA's office named after me that I built for child victim witnesses, and I was a champion. I was awarded many things for the work that I did in New Orleans, and they took all of this, tore it apart. They found videos where I would speak at my church, Celebration Church, and found out that I went to Celebration Church, and they posted about the church that I went to make me think that they had someone down here in New Orleans following me. They said my family was being stalked, that my family would pay. And the biggest mistake that I made was to believe that these people actually mattered, to believe that these people were here. And really, they were just goons.
Lisa, for the audience that don't know, when you say these people, are you talking about Nicole Eggert? And are you talking about her cousin Sammy that lives in England? And are you talking about a few other supporters that she had that were part of her online gang of trolls that targeted me, my child, my husband, you, and certainly a lot of other people?
Nicole, it was Sammy, it was a lady Christy, it was that Tiffany Wolf, it was and then their what do you call those accounts, the sock accounts? There was so many of them.
So what exactly did they do to you? I know that you lost your employment. Do you think that was because of what they were doing?
Well, I lost my job. I worked for a Christian company, and I lost my job the same day that they posted that I was a sex offender, and had been recently arrested as a sex offender because they had taken a article out of context. And I was given a gold seal pardon for that arrest. I never did that. It was a false charge. And I got a gold seal pardon that had already happened after that. But what I was talking about in the article was not even, they just took one little excerpt, and I sent you a picture of the article that they had, and I circled it. I sent you that so you could see. And then they sent articles about, Nicole had tweeted that I had been recently, the year before, arrested for prostitution, and I had been happily married for 18 years. I was a fitness influencer on Instagram, and a cyclist, and I had daughters in high school, and I actually, thankfully, I had just started a new job, and I had a background check that I also sent you that went back 10 years, and there definitely were no arrests at all.
But she said, did she accuse you of using illegal drugs, bath salts?
Meth, coke. I had recent arrests for those things about the same time that I had a prostitution arrest. And
supposedly that's what she had accused you of.
And that was from Nicole. That was from Nicole herself. Yeah.
Yes. And do you happen to have those on hand? Because I know you sent them to me, because I can't look them up since I'm using my phone. Just so we can just show this in context, so that nobody can dispute that she didn't write them and that wasn't to you. If you could just hold that up on the screen.
Just a second, I can. No, now's going to be the time my contact's going to start screwing with me. Hang on. Okay, so here's the, let's see, what's this one? Okay, that one about you. That's the one that's about you. Okay. Okay, this one, she says, I don't believe in God, so suck a dick, and yes, I'm confident what will come. That was not about me, but that was pretty, okay. This is one from Nicole that says, she can say whatever she likes, but you are beautiful, and guess what? You never had to suck a dick for crack, so that's that. She can fuck herself. This Lisa person was arrested not even a year ago for prostitution and cocaine, #winner, from Nicole.
Okay. Okay.
That is absolutely a lie.
Okay. So, one other thing real quick. Thank you again for taking the time.
The one with the bath salts, by the way, when she accused me of doing bath salts.
Hold it up. I don't see it. Hang on up. Okay, and then we'll also get those that we can also put up if we need to. So, Lisa, when you lost your job and all this happened, by the grace of God, you're still here with us today. Is that true?
When I did a video, a real empowering video for you guys, that was great. And I think they accused Brian of writing a script for me. It was so good. I said, man, that must have been really good if they think it was scripted, you know? But it wasn't.
But can you tell Scott's viewers exactly what happened?
I had I really did have a breakdown towards the end of the year. Sammy continued to, and I have to find those texts. She continued to encourage me to end my life, and I began to have a lot of issues from the PTSD that overcame me, and I did in fact try that at one point towards the end of the year. I had a breakdown, and
so you tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, I did. It really, I can't blame that on them really, but my PTSD of being traumatized and victimized and having to defend myself for this, because you got to remember, I had to do 11 years of being ignored by the justice system, and to fight for that justice so hard, and to have that story that I fought for so hard just be shredded like that. It was like who I had become, and I had made myself this person, and for good, just to be shredded like that. It was devastating to me, and I didn't even know who I was anymore there for a while. And but yes, by God's grace, I'm here. And you know, and like if they see this and decide to do it all over again, I really don't care. You know, they really can't face me anymore, because now I know they're nobodies. That's even true. Eggert, you know, they really are nobodies. That's and true. They don't matter.
And no one should ever take away your joy in life. Nobody, no matter what. And you know, everyone has a past, and everyone has a present, and you certainly are going to have a future. Thank God. God said, not today, Lisa, not today.
That's for sure. But look, I love you guys. I have a heart for you all, and I am so sorry that Scott and more than you, but you know who my heart goes out to, your young daughter, who has such a bright future, and having to deal with this bullshit on a constant basis of what she has to deal with. She doesn't deserve this. She's an innocent child and has been dealing with this for over 10 years from these grown-ass women. I know I was a grown person, and how hard it was on me, you know, towards the end. And I'm just really sorry that she's had to suffer like this. So my prayers are with your entire family, and anything that I could ever do with my experience, I'm willing to share. And always, you guys can call me.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time.
I'll talk to you later.